The U.S. Supreme Court today issued its decision with regard to presidential immunity. Really, not much anything new. Of course, presidents, judges, government officials, they claim that they have immunity for anything that is an official act. Question is, what is an official act? Now, it's good that the Supreme Court weighed in on this. And frankly, from a practical standpoint, I think it's good that Trump won't be tried before the elections. That would have been a real you know what kind of show. But the reality here is, and this is what's ironic, is that presidents and no government official should have immunity for their acts. I faced this before with Hillary Clinton. Remember her 33,000 emails, her use of a private server, which gave rise to the death of my client's sons, Sean Woods and Ty Smith. Ty Woods and Sean Smith. I've got it reversed. This is something which obviously has to be the case. Hillary Clinton was not acting in her official capacity, but these judges will interpret the law to say that. And in fact, when she defamed my clients, that was Pat Smith and Charles Woods, the parents, and called them liars, they were also protected by a judge, Amy Berman Jackson, who made a ruling dismissing the case on the eve of Memorial Day, if you can believe that, as they were mourning their sons' deaths. Then it went up to the DC Court of Appeals, who rubber stamped that. We had two very leftist judges on that panel. Actually, I think there were three, and they would take no action. One of them actually had contributed money to Hillary Clinton. So this is where we are in this process. Now, while you may feel good that President Trump may at least be home free until after the elections, because this guy, Jack Smith, really, who is deranged. I mean, look at him. He looks like he's crazy, and he is. And he's all not that bright. He's been thwarted nearly at every step of the way, but he's a real problem in terms of tying the president down, President Trump, with election interference. But this is not a good decision going forward. And why is it that Biden and the left and the Democrats are screaming now? Why is it? When in fact, Biden could be responsible for being indicted himself after he leaves for the bribery from communist China, Ukraine, and Russia. In fact, he should be indicted now by his corrupt Gestapo of a Justice Department. It's your Freedom Watch who actually did that. We tried him. We got a decision with a citizens judge when he didn't show up for bribery from communist China, Ukraine, and Russia, and negligent homicide from Afghanistan. We had to do it ourselves. But think about it clearly. This is something which, in terms of Trump, it may be good to get him past the election, but in terms of the United States, it's not good. And there's nothing in the Constitution which gives the president immunity. It's separation of powers. That's how that's interpreted. But there's nothing in there. Just like there's nothing in there for judges. And why are these judges always rubber stamping immunity for others in government? Because they gave themselves immunity for their legal acts on the federal bench. There's nothing in the Constitution about that either. So give this some thought. This decision may sound good today, but it may be negative into the future when another president like Biden, perhaps the biggest criminal in the history of the United States, claims immunity, and he surely will. And why is it? Let's go back a couple days to the debate in CNN. Why is it that the Biden family says he's going to continue to run? They want the protections of their own Justice Department to be in place because they don't know what's going to happen. And they're very selfish. They are traitors, in my opinion. Jill Biden, Jill, that is Jill, no Jack and Jill, believe me, should herself be held accountable for committing a fraud on the American people and withholding from the American people the extremely poor health and lack of mental acuity of her husband for all these years as we get into one war after another to the point that we're facing a potential nuclear holocaust. And it's not just that. They've destroyed the economy as well, but they don't care about the American people. They just care about themselves. And Hunter says, oh, my father needs to continue to run for president. Of course, because he wants pardons. He wants clemency. He wants all kinds of other things. Well, I'm sorry. The American people come first, not your own criminal means and criminal conduct. So go to freedomwatchusa.org, contribute to our cause with tax-deductible contributions. We are your real Justice Department, not this Gestapo of a Biden Justice Department. And frankly, Justice Departments under Republican leadership have been bad as well.
They do not represent the American people. They represent the people that are in office at the time. God bless you. Go to freedomwatchusa.org, get my book, It Takes a Counter-Revolution, Wake Up America. Please contribute. We need to get bigger. We need to be stronger. We need to fight for you. Remember, the Father and Son will only help us if we help ourselves. Go to freedomwatchusa.org. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast. Until then, thank you for listening to me.